John Luss here of Luss Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing a new model by Tooth of the Arrow Broadheads. And if you've been following me for very long, you know that I'm a big fan of Tooth of the Arrow. I've tested all of the heads that they've produced so far, a bunch of different 4-blade heads, as well as a 2-blade head. Well, they just came out with a 3-blade head. And you may ask, well, why in the world did you do a 3-blade head? And it's just because people are asking for it. So some people really prefer a 3-blade head. So they figured, why not enter the game and meet that need? So I'm going to be testing this head with all of my process for 2024. And for a detailed description of that, please check out the video that I posted earlier this year called 2024 Broadhead Test Process. And it'll walk you through why I do what I do, how I do what I do, how I quantify the results, and so forth and so on. And I'm going to be using my Elite Era. I said it's 67 pounds and 27-inch draw for most of the shooting. And then I'm going to be using the Killer Instinct SWAT X1 crossbow for the flight forgiveness and the accuracy testing. All right, let's zoom on in here. Oh, and I'm going to be using Bishop arrows, the super strong arrows, the regular arrows, and the bolts for all of the testing as well. All right, let's zoom on in here and check out this Tooth of the Arrow 3-blade and then put it to the test. So here's a good look at this broadhead. Just a no-nonsense, one-piece construction, 3-blade design. For the materials, it's machined out of a single chunk of 11L41 steel and brought to a Rockwell hardness of 45, which they like. They find it's the best balance of being able to resharpen it and not have the blades be too brittle, as well as good enough, hard enough to hold its edge in an animal and penetration. Its blades are 0.040 inches thick, and the overall length beyond the end of the arrow is 1.03 inches. So decent thick blades and a really short overall profile. The cutting diameter is 1 1/8 inches, which is pretty standard for a 3-blade single-piece construction head like this. What I really like about it is it's solid, it's not vented, and that's just going to aid in having more durable blades. They're not going to shear off as readily, and I think they've saved some of the weight in doing that in this 100-grain model by taking a bit out of the ferrule there. So that's kind of a cool design. And the tip is also interesting. They've got this pyramid tip that just adds a bit more stoutness to it, a bit more durability to it, as opposed to if it continued all the way, if they just continued that line all the way to the end, it would be a little bit more pointy and a little more subject to break off. But this is probably not going to break off very readily. For resharpening, you can just lay it flat on any surface. I like using the Stay Sharp Guide diamond plates. I mean, they really work like a charm with these broadheads. It just caught the 8 ring. It took 319 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is an 8.81 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated 8.5 inches. It took an additional 73 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is an 8.54 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 59 layers. It's in perfect shape after the 3 shots through the MDF. And it's still in near perfect shape after the 2 shots through the steel plate. Maybe the tip got a little bit blunted, but I'm kind of splitting hairs there. And then you can see the holes. It makes really nice triangular punch holes, not just like a little circle with 3 slits coming off of it. So here it is after all the durability testing, and man, it just did fantastic through the MDF, the steel plate, and then into the concrete as well. Just very impressive durability. So what'd you think? Man, I tell you, they did a good job with this, okay? I figured they would, but they did. You know, in every area, the Broadhead just performed really well. So if you're looking for a solid one-piece, super tough, 3-blade broadhead with this cutting diameter, man, you ought to check out this Tooth of the Arrow. I really like the 4 blades that they put out earlier, but I can understand the niche in the market for this one as well, and they've done an outstanding job with it. So great job, Tooth of the Arrow. Look forward to more stuff that you come out with in the future. And please stay tuned for the overall cumulative score, as well as the corresponding Lusk grade, and a list of all the discount codes that I offer for different broadheads that are really Lusk approved, as well as for some other pieces of gear. So thanks so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next time.